Hi everyone, I'm Henrik Andersson. I'm the CIO of Apollo Capital, and I think, as most of you know, Apollo Capital is our crypto fund. We are based in Melbourne, and we have been managing the crypto fund for around 13 months now. And this is one of our monthly webinars. We've been doing this kind of webinars for the past year or so. So this is one of the way we communicate with the community and our investors. And we hope to do a Q&A at the end of this webinar as well. So if you are currently on our website apollocap.io, there should be a little box on the side of this video where you can ask questions at the end. But I'm going to go through some of the events we've been attending recently, some updates on the fund, and some news and some outlook for the crypto markets. So welcome everyone again, and don't forget to ask any questions at the end of this webinar again. This week I'm actually just back from Adelaide. There was a big crypto conference there running from Sunday until yesterday. It ended Wednesday. I met so many friends from the crypto community in Adelaide the last few days, so that was really great to catch up with everyone in the ecosystem. Really well organized, and I thank Stephen Rue for putting this together with the South Australian government that co-sponsored this event. They also had a number of really great international guests. On Tuesday, I shared a panel on the stage there with some of the top names globally in crypto. Patrick Byrne was one of them. He has been an advocate for crypto for a long time. He's the CEO of Overstock. They were very early in accepting Bitcoin on their platform. And those of you who don't know Overstock is kind of like an Amazon in the US. And Patrick, during last year, raised money for a new security token trading platform called T0. So he spoke a lot about a security token and a future where all assets are tokenized. And that's something we believe in as well. Eventually, all assets will be tokenized. They will be running on this new blockchain rails, and that will make everything more efficient. We will be able to trade fractional parts of all kind of real-world assets, and we will move to a more efficient and fast-moving world thanks to that. And T0 just launched not that long ago, so that's pretty exciting. Also on the stage with me was the CFO of Binance, and Binance is one of the most successful companies in crypto right now. I'm saying company, but Binance is actually about to disrupt themselves and might move to a more decentralized organization going forward. And they are basically disrupting themselves. They're the biggest crypto exchange in the world currently, and they're about to launch a decentralized platform. So that's super exciting, something we are following closely. One of the huge success stories in crypto so far, and the Binance coin has been performing fantastically. We bought into Binance coin in October last year, and then we have been increasing the position during last year, and it had a fantastic run since they are gaining some momentum, and there is some excitement around the decentralized exchange that they are launching. It's one of the tokens with real utility out there. The Binance token is used to pay for the part of the commissions on their platform. Currently, they also use 20%, I believe, of their profits to burn Binance coin on a quarterly basis. So it's actually one of these crypto tokens where you can calculate a cash flow on. And as they launch a decentralized exchange, you will need the Binance coin to run the validating notes on this new decentralized exchange. So there's a real incentive to hold the Binance coin once they change the business model and launch the DEX as well. So that's pretty exciting. And I was really happy to share the share the stage in Adelaide with Patrick Byrne and Wei from Binance. He's a CFO there. Also new on our end is that we have updated our marketing material. If you go to our website under About and go to the fund, you can see our publicly available material there. We have a new pitch deck for the fund. I hope you like the new look. We also have an educational deck there. And if you subscribe to your newsletter, which I hope most of you do, otherwise you can subscribe from our website. But we have a new educational deck as well, which I think is been very well received. And we also have our investment thesis there on the website. The way we pitch on the new deck is that we are investing in the crypto assets that are powering the next generation of computer infrastructure. And I think this is pretty important. Basically, we are entering an area with a new type of computer infrastructure. We can now do trust with software. So instead of having to trust third parties, we can now build that on these new software platforms that are powered by blockchains and crypto assets. So have a look through the educational deck if you haven't already. Give us feedback. In that educational deck, you can also find some information about how we look at this market, of course, what kind of applications we see in the future. We divide basically the applications in two buckets, and those are money. So for money is the best market fit for crypto assets. There can be a potential store of value, something like Bitcoin. There can be stable coins. There can be privacy coins. That's an area we actively invest in. The other one is around smart contracts and smart contract platforms. And what we see there are things like security token platforms, decentralized exchanges. So going back to things like T0 does, I mentioned before, and things like what Binance is trying to achieve with their DEX. That's kind of a new infrastructure built on smart contract platforms. And the other big vertical for smart contracts, we believe, is decentralized finance. I'll get back to that more later as well. But that's all in the educational deck. You'll also find information there about how we evaluate cryptocurrencies and blockchains. And you also see some examples of the holdings we actually have in the portfolio and a little bit about how we view them. That will obviously change over time, but you can see some of our core holdings in that deck. So hopefully you like that. And again, please give us feedback. Another thing we did recently was that we submitted our comments to the consultation paper that the Australian Treasury put out in February. You might have seen that we published our early draft or submission on our website, and we did a final submission as well. And we met with the Treasury last week here in Melbourne at the round table to give them our feedback face to face about what we think is a reasonable regulation of this area when it comes to crypto assets in general, but also ICOs. We probably need some more clarity. We think it's important that regulators have a light light-handed approach to this area. We believe we are still in the early days. We can compare it to early internet days, and a hard-handed approach would be wrong at this juncture. An example we like to give is the bit license in New York. There was a quite heavy-handed approach, and they meant that some businesses and projects left the New York area. We don't want to see that happening in Australia. It's a globally competitive area, and we need all the as much innovation as possible happening here in Australia. So that's really good that the Treasury is listening to the industry, and something we will continue to follow closely. When it comes to the crypto markets, wanted to highlight some of the trends we see and some of the news flow we have seen lately in this area. So one is what I briefly mentioned, the open financial system that is being built. This is sometimes called DeFi, and that's something we are pretty excited about. So that is kind of one early use case for smart contract platforms that we are seeing gaining some real traction. And I'll give you two examples. So one is MakerDAO. MakerDAO is a project that we describe in our new educational deck as well. It's a platform for credit. You can collateralize your crypto assets and basically borrow money from this decentralized system on top of Ethereum, not backed by a bank or a financial institution, which means that it's trustless, is permissionless, is censorship resistant, and is available to anyone in the world that might not have access to traditional banking services. So I think that's really great for financial inclusion. They also have a stablecoin called DAI, which is an important vertical in itself. MakerDAO has been growing quickly, and they now have 2% of all ETH locked up in their system, and they're going to continue to develop the system. They're going to move to a new version of the platform called multi-collateral DAI, where you can look up other assets, not just Ether, but other ERC20 coins. And as we move to a world where more and more assets are tokenized, that means that real world assets will be able to be interoperable with this kind of smart contract platforms and the world of decentralized finance. So that's one example. Another example is the Lightning Network, which will enable small micropayments of Bitcoin. That has continued to grow as well. And I think I just saw the last few days that over 1,000 BTC is now locked up on the Lightning Network. So that's really exciting to see that growth happening as well. So that's a little bit about the open financial networks that are being built. We continue to write articles. We recently published an article saying that the next 100 million people to be onboarded to crypto might come from the social networks. So check that post out if you haven't already. And that is happening now in 2019. Bloomberg has been writing about how Facebook and WhatsApp is building a new cryptocurrency, most likely a stablecoin for WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the biggest messenger service in the world with 1 billion users. They're probably going to start with remittances to India. And I think that could really provide an on-ramp to the crypto networks. Telegram is another one. Telegram raised 2 billion last year and is about to launch their cryptocurrency. Signal is another one with their mobile coin. And finally, Twitter is investing heavily, and Jack Dorsey the last few months has really come out as a big supporter for the crypto industry, which is fantastic to see. I think he mentioned in a podcast that they are looking at integrating Bitcoin payments on top of Twitter as a way to fight spam and bots. You will be able to reward good content on Twitter. Actually, just this morning, Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Twitter, announced that they are hiring 3 to 4 people to work on Bitcoin and support this open source code. So really fantastic to see. And Square is the other company that Jack founded, is involved in this as well. So that's pretty exciting. That could be the next 100 million people coming into crypto from these social networks. On the more institutional side, we've seen Fidelity finally launching their services, a soft launch in the US to selected clients for Bitcoin custody and trading. Later this year, we expect them to launch more widely and globally as well. The other big one we're waiting for is New York Stock Exchange with their BACT. That has been delayed, but we think it is very likely to happen sometime this year, most likely in the first half of this year. We still believe BACT will launch. And then we have seen a little bit of momentum coming back to the markets around a few areas, and I think that's great to see kind of a early sign that we are coming out of the crypto winter, and maybe we are already in the crypto spring, although most people don't realize it yet. Prices are up since the lows in mid-December. Crypto market cap is at $140 billion. I think it was as low as below $100 billion at some point mid-December. We have seen crypto networks being launched where the price has actually been trading up. So one recent example is Cosmos. A lot of people have been excited about Cosmos. Cosmos is a new protocol built on something called Tendermint, and they just launched a week ago or so. And in kind of the IOU market or the future market, Cosmos has been trading up 50, 60, 70x. So it's really good to see some of these protocols we've been waiting for is actually trading okay when the list. The other momentum we've seen is around the Binance Launchpad. Binance has an ICO platform called Launchpad. They've done 3 or 4 ICOs on that platform recently, and the demand has been huge. The latest one was actually this week, and they are selling out in a matter of seconds, and they're all trading higher when they launch. So there's some momentum building in that market as well. So that was pretty much it that I was going to go through for this time. Hopefully you have some questions for me as well. I'm going to check the chat box now and see if there are any questions. If there are no questions, then we will do this soon again. We have been doing this every month or every second month or so. And we also want to let you know that we have an open door policy at Apollo. So if you have any questions, you can just contact us at any time. Some of you have our email, or you can contact us through the website, and we always try to reply to all the inquiries we get. Otherwise, I thank you for this time, and I hope to see you very soon.